You're staying in a fun hotel in the middle of Mississippi or wherever it might be, and you want to fly your drone from the inside lobby out the door. To show context to where you're at in this video, a couple tips starting with this first one, which is make sure you have good GPS. And so that means turning on your drone, turning on your controller, and making sure it has good GPS before you start your flight, because all of these walls, especially these walls and the bricks, are going to make it not have good GPS, and it will cause your drone to drift. And when your drone drifts inside, it has the potential to hit things when you are flying your drone. The second thing to know is that you want to start horizontal. So even if you're going to fly your drone in a vertical shot, because your drone flies in that way, you still want to start horizontal so that you can see how close you are to things, and it's easier to see it that way versus if you're starting with it vertically. So start horizontal, set up your shot, then flip it vertically. The next thing is to put it into sport mode. The reason for that is if your drone has sensors, it might jump away from one side and then jump into the next thing. And so you want to make sure the sensors are off. And the easiest way to do that is simply by putting it into sport mode. The next one is to record the entire time. I'm not a fan of this one, but if you record it the entire time, then what that does is it's just one easy trim in the beginning, and at the end, if you do a speed ramp in between, you're golden. Which, by the way, if you're new here, I'm Christine Lozada with Drone with CL, and I make helpful drone videos to help you explore the world from the sky. This is an example of something that's in my course. I'm bringing you on site to all the places I'm flying at around the world with helpful tips to help you get the shots as well. The next one is to fly slow. Too many people fly fast, and it's way easier, in my opinion, to speed up your footage than it is to slow it down. And the other thing is to fly way further, because you want to have it and easily trim it versus not have it and you realize you didn't fly far enough. So in this next section, I'm going to show you how I set up the shot while I walk you through it. Then I'm going to bring you through the edit using Final Cut Pro. So join me over there. Okay, so even though this shot will eventually be vertical, I've purposely put the drone horizontal because it's easier to see what I'm looking at versus what the drone is looking at versus will I hit things. You can see I'm in sport mode, and that's because otherwise the drone might jump away from the right side of the door frame and hit the left side of the door frame. But now that I've kind of set it up, I've put it into vertical so that I kind of understand. And I've lined up my drone perfectly, but one of the things to know about flying inside is that it causes your drone to drift, which is why I've let my drone see where it is GPS wise for an extremely long time, like 3 to 4 minutes. It's a long time in drone time. And so I'm inside, you can even see like no GPS, fly with caution. That's what's happening because all of the bricks in the building is causing it to have interference, which is why I was drifting. So it took me a while to set up the shot. But then once I took the shot, and actually, hold on, let's back up real quick. Once I eventually took that shot, what happened was I started flying backwards. Maybe go to the side, right? And I want to just fly directly backwards so that the speed ramp can just speed directly backwards and not like weird to the side movement. And as expected, all of the sensors are on. That's normal. I have started the video this whole time. You can see I'm actively recording because I'd rather just trim it, because that's only one trim, right? And that's fine, I finally did it. And then you can see how slowly I was moving backwards versus you can see now the mile per hour really picking up. So again, once I started going out 2-3 miles an hour, up to 6, like I didn't blast it 20 miles an hour straight away. You can see I slowed down 3 miles an hour again. And you'll see in the edit that I will speed ramp this twice, but it's given me the option to make sure I've safely flown it out and I'm getting the shot. If you fly it too fast, you might hit something because it might drift on accident, or it's harder to slow it down than it is to speed up, in my opinion, in the edit. And the other thing is, now look, the distance, I'm going out to almost 300 feet beyond that. I'm flying way further than I actually need to, because it's way better to keep going longer than you need it for, because you can't go back and get the rest of that shot if you need it. So if my speed ramp out needs to be super far, then I'm giving myself that option with this edit. Now you can see my drone just stays there. And that's because what's happening on the other side is I'm looking inside my drone and I am seeing like what's happened. Like Let's go into the photos. This is what's happening now, right? I'm checking my shot to see if I've gotten it, but my drone is high enough and far enough away, and I know I'm not bothering anyone. I go back and I'm starting to check my shot, and I'm looking at it, and that's what I'm doing to figure out if I need to shoot it one more time, and if so, I'll just bring it straight back and do it again. Which, by the way, if you're getting some value out of this video, choose that like button, consider subscribing, and you can preview the entire course for free. So check it out in the description below, and let's move on to this next part. Hey friends, so the way I'm gonna edit this right now is this first entire section is just me lining up the drone. So all of that's gonna go. But the part where it's like, it actually starts, and if you know me, I like to press record after the shot has started, but for this style of shot, it's a little bit too difficult. But you saw just now that it was just a little bit off-centered, right? And so the shot starts here, and you can see this first cut that I put here. And you can see that it's very, very slow, because I'm making sure I ain't gonna hit something. But you can see that that's slightly off-centered, so that two things are gonna happen. I'm gonna start, like I said, here, but the first thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna center this. So I'm gonna center myself by making this a little bit larger and just moving it centered. So I'm gonna center it. And the next thing I'm gonna do is, because that first part is like so slow, someone might never get to this part, right? If they don't get to that part, it like defeats the whole purpose. So I'm gonna speed ramp the beginning. So I'm gonna have this first opening shot be like, boom, like so short. And then I'm gonna add a speed ramp to the part where like, oh my gosh, something's happening, which is like, you start to see the doors like here. So I might put it to like there. And I'm gonna speed ramp this a little bit slower, still fast, like 8x, all right? And my playback speed's gonna be weird, so this playback's gonna be weird. You have to wait for the ed version. So it's gonna speed ramp that to here. And we're still within the first 2 seconds of the clip, which for squirrel people on Instagram, TikTok, perfect. Within 2 seconds, it's like, something's happening. And then it kind of like reveals where I'm at, but it's still going really slow. And so I'm gonna speed ramp one more time. Maybe you're like, oh wow, there's like a door. And maybe from here to like, I don't even know, maybe to, so one of the important things about flying the shot is that you fly it fairly far, right? I want to leave maybe like 3 seconds at the end. So 55, 54, 53, 52, maybe to like here. And I'm gonna speed ramp this part to a lot. So like maybe like 20x or maybe even more, depending on how long it makes the clip. It makes this clip a total of 7 seconds, which makes me feel good. Like that's pretty short. So boom, first speed ramp, again, choppy because it hasn't been rendered. And then the full speed ramp to kind of show where I'm at. I'm checking the horizon really quick, which for what this is, it doesn't matter. It's a little bit crooked, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna throw a quick preset that I've created on there. This little like, it saturates it just a little bit, but then you'll see it in the final. So let's go ahead and render that and let's take a look. If you got some value out of this video, choose that like button and consider subscribing. And if you have a helpful tip, add it in the comments below. Yo from Mississippi in my messy hotel room, time to get back to making more drone videos. See you in the next one. Ciao.